They've done well. We still got some improvement to do, and that's the big thing, just improving week in and week out, but the right mindset and right focus and being committed to be the best we can be. It's a good group. It's a fun group, and they're focused on improving.
Coach Womack's talk about making improvements in the run game. What's the key for your unit?
I think the big thing is play good gap responsibility, and then obviously if there's any pressures, having good paths doing that. If we can do that, then we can limit some explosives that we've given up this year. And that's the focus. Like, where am I supposed to be? What's my job doing it? And can I do it on a consistent basis?
How much of that do you think is experience in the system?
I think that has something to do with it. And then understanding what the blocking scheme is when I'm running those certain patterns. And that's something we got to continue to rep and work on and put them in those situations so they have a chance to be successful.
What do you see in Georgia's offensive line?
Very big, very strong at the point of contact, very athletic, really good. Kirby's done a phenomenal job with that program. And obviously they won a bunch of games. So, you know, we got to go out and do our job, you know, and obviously that's a great opponent, but we got to make it about us.
What do you think about Trevor Etienne, the running back room?
Phenomenal. They've got a really good team all around, been consistent. They've been in the SEC game. They went to Kentucky and pulled one out, but just the running backs run hard. They got gaps to run in as far as the offensive line is doing it, and the quarterback is phenomenal. A really good player, manages the game, doesn't turn the ball over. It's a really good team. We got a big task ahead of us.
What do you remember about Kirby's time at Alabama?
Did a great job. Obviously, he was here when Coach won a lot of national championships. Haven't been around him. He's a guy who's detailed, demands a lot to play at a certain standard, and, you know, just a great guy. No surprise that he's having success he's having.
Got any great stories for us?
I do not. I keep all stories in my pocket.
Well, what kind of traits did he maybe show when he was here that led you to believe that he could do what he's doing at Georgia?
Yeah, I just think it's leadership. I think it's leadership and understanding what it takes to play at a certain standard week in and week out. He's done a phenomenal job. Again, hats off to Kirby. They've won over there, and they've continued to win. Done a really good job in recruiting. So, you know, he's done well, and you know, he'll continue to do so.
How have you seen a guy like Deontay Pierre continue to mature on defense, especially at linebacker?
He's done well. He's gained weight. He's playing physical at the point of contact. He's got unbelievable pass rush ability, and seeing him grow up. And that's the good thing about being here, and any college actually. But you see kids come in and they start developing to being a good player, and you know, and time flies when that happens for some reason. But he's done a really good job. He's grown up. He's matured. He's worked his butt off, and you know, he's giving us good snaps.
How does your position group open things up for linebackers like Justin Jefferson?
Oh, and that kid can flat out fly now. All right, and I'm not saying it because he's standing here, but he does a good job. You know, he's done a tremendous job. When we talk about people developing and becoming a better player, he's one of those guys. And to see him grow from where he was and where he is now is a good thing to see.
What do you see when you look at this Georgia offensive line?
They're big, they're physical at the point of contact. They do a good job of opening up in gaps for really good running backs. Really skilled football team. I mean, it's not a coincidence they've won the games they've won. And we've got our hands full, and we got to go out and play good ball and perform on Saturday.
Having been here a couple of years, what stands out about Georgia and that matchup?
They've been who they've been for a long time. Kirby's done a phenomenal job of getting them prepared to play week in and week out. They won a bunch of games, and they're physical. You know, Kirby's taken the mentality that he's always had to Georgia from a coach's perspective and done a phenomenal job.
How important is the result of games like this from a recruiting perspective?
You know, I don't worry about results, and it's kind of like the journey and the destination. It's two different things. All right, we focus on what it's going to take for us to have success. All right, I can't worry about what I'm doing next week if I can't do what I got to do today. So we're going to focus on us and the things that we got to do to try to be successful, and we'll see what happens at the end.
You put an extra emphasis on pressure getting to the quarterback in a game like this, or is it just the same every game?
I think that's your job every game. You want to affect the quarterback somehow, regardless of who you're playing. And that's something that we have to do defensively, whether it's this week, next week, or the following week. And that's just what we do. You know, obviously, you know, you want to affect the quarterback, you want to stop the run. You got to do the things that it helps the defense to be successful.
Held Georgia to under 100 yards rushing last season. Did you take anything from that game? Or?
Honestly, I don't remember yesterday, but I'm glad you did tell me that. But no, that doesn't matter. Last year was last year. I mean, I had a lot more hair last year than I do this year. So we're not worried about what happened last year. We're focused on what we got to do right now.
Speaking of hair, what do you think of Tim Keenan's new hair?
I kind of like it. I think I'm going to get some extensions on mine. You know, they got that stuff now for old people that you can do that, and I'm kind of getting on up in age.
What do you think about what he's done and what he's
phenomenal? He's getting everything he deserves. This kid works his butt off. He comes in and day out. You know what you're going to get. And then, as a coach, like that's what you expect. That makes your job easier. And then he helps other guys to kind of be successful as well.
He talked yesterday about last year kind of proving to himself that he could do it. And
Yep.
this year kind of taking that next step. Where have you seen him take?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year we had a guy go down and he stepped in during fall camp and he's been a starter ever since. But that's a credit to him, his discipline, his commitment, his effort. He's tough, and the pride that he has in doing his job is the reason he's in the position that he's in now.
As good as this defensive line that you have is, how interchangeable?
You're trying to jinx me, aren't you?
How interchangeable is it when you do have?
It's actually good. When you got several guys that can go in and play and perform at a high level, it's a good thing. But we're focused on what we got to do day in and day out. And I say that repeatedly, but that's football. Can I create the right habits? All right, and can I do it over and over again and have discipline in doing it? And it's good having several guys that can play. We'd like to get more. We're trying to get more guys to step up, but it helps as far as depth is concerned.
What's the balance in terms of you got so many guys that could get reps and then kind of?
It depends which one's nice to me that week. I kind of just go by that. But they got to go out to practice and perform. That's what it boils down to. Can I be consistent at practice, show coaches, Kane, myself, everybody in that defensive staff that I know what to do on a daily basis and be disciplined in doing it. And some guys struggles and some don't. And that's what it's about. That's how you get confidence in the guys that you coach to put them on the field in certain situations.
On that same track, we have seen a really deep defensive line room. Will that continue with SEC play?
That's what I would hope. I got a spot for you if you like it.
I love it.
But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to develop depth so we can go out. It's going to be a long season, and we know that. So the more guys we get ready to play, the more successful we'll be.
You guys have batted a lot of passes over the first few weeks of the season. Does it seem? How do you coach that?
You work drills. Everything we do, we try to put kids in situations where they can have success in the game. We have batted ball drills. We do it prior to practice. We do it during practice. We do it after practice sometimes. So, football coaching is putting guys in situations that will come within the game so they can have success.
You started off as an outside guy last year, but now on the line. How have the young guys helped Keon Keeley grow even more?
Yeah, he's gotten better, and it's a commitment from him, and he's done that. And we're just going to continue to make him a better player, and that's what it is. If he's focused on doing that and nothing else, he'll be fine. Proud of Keon from where he's come from and where he is now. We just got to continue to improve.
Is there anything that you tell the coaching staff that's come in from Washington about this Georgia matchup?
Absolutely not. It's the next game. That's the reason it's a big game. All right, that's what it boils down to. We can make it more than what that is, but at the end of the day, it's the next game. We got to focus on what we got to do to have our opportunity to be successful.
Last two questions for Coach.
LT Overton, he mentioned you as one of his reasons for transferring here. Just what have you seen from him?
He came in and he was really light. He played a little linebacker at A&M. He gained his weight. He's been committed to getting better. He's done a really good job. He don't say a whole bunch, and just proud of him. Just proud of him. We recruited him in high school, and obviously we had to wait 2 years, which could have got him 2 more prior to, but we're glad to have him on our team.
What stands out about the Georgia run game?
Again, they're big up front, and they can run the ball. They got really good running backs. They can hit holes full speed. We got to try to fit it up, but really good team. Kirby's done a phenomenal job.
All right, that's it. Thank you, guys.